I'm Megan Mitchell. This is my co-host, Jon Morrison, and you are listening to the True North Racing Podcast.
Time to strap in, pull those belts, and get ready for an action-packed episode of the True North Racing Podcast. Are you ready to unmask? Unhelmet your favorite racers? Get ready for the most fun you'll have outside the racetrack to get you ready for the next race. You're listening to Jon Morrison and Megan Mitchell, and this is the True North Racing Podcast.
Welcome back to episode 151 of the True North Racing Podcast, presented by Driving With Hailey. I'm your host, Jon Morrison. Joining me, as always, is our amazing co-host, Megan Mitchell. Megan, I would say, how was your weekend? But you kind of already upset me with your answer when you got on the Zoom call. But
sorry.
How was your weekend?
It was fantastic because I got to hang out with you and Jacqueline.
Yeah, we had a lot. The reason why, though, is sad, really. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I know throughout the racing season it is so difficult for us to get together because you're at Flamborough for 20 nights this year.
Yeah.
I was off to Sauble twice, Sunset twice. Even the times I was at Flamborough, it was just an absolute shit show because I was just running around.
Yeah.
So half the time I feel like I didn't even get to go down and see you guys like I normally do.
Mm-hmm.
And I apologize for that, but I think we kind of made it up for that last night.
Oh yeah.
Championship got rained. Actually, before we continue on, because I'm a moron, as you guys have figured this out by now. We are currently in our Peps Pro Painting opening segment. We got to thank Jae Pepin for being the presenting sponsor of the opening segment of the True North Racing Podcast. If you guys are looking for any house painting, I think commercial, residential, anything, give Jae Pepin a call. We will drop the number down in the comment section on YouTube and on all our wherever you guys are listening to the True North Racing Podcast. But yeah, thank you, Jay, for your support. We appreciate you, and I think he's got some big news coming up. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of projecting, but that's just me. But no, this past weekend, championship weekend, flipping got rained out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I will say this. I have to give a huge round of applause to Flamborough Speedway staff for calling it when they did.
Yeah.
We don't like it when Mother Nature has to rain down on our parade. But let's be real. You guys have waited how many times in the rain at Flamborough before you even got into the gate? Way too many times.
Yeah, a lot.
Like it's ridiculous. But you guys have always gotten the night in, so you can't be too upset with that. But yesterday, Jacqueline and I were joking the entire time about like how, oh, it's not going to rain. There's no rain in the forecast, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I think it's when we took the dogs for a walk before we left for the day that we noticed that it had started raining a little bit. Not like just kind of like a little spitting here and there. Just like, is it going to rain? No. It turns out, I guess, down where you guys are, it was raining for most of the day by the sounds of it.
Yeah, it was tough because it wasn't even really a rain. It was like a mist. But it was just enough that like everything was still saturated.
Yeah.
Wet rain. So,
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part, right? When the grounds were absolutely wet the entire time. Like I drove out to Cambridge, then drove down to Hamilton, and the fact that the grounds were wet for about 90% of the drive down, they made the right call when they called it. As much as it sucks, we all, it sucks that there was a couple divisions that, really only had like a couple points between them.
Mm-hmm.
And Mother Nature decided that the fate of the points. Now, we could always look at it as a crappy weekend. We could always look at it as a positive for some. Obviously, the winners are the winners.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
we got to send a big congratulations out to Wade Thorne for winning the Pure Stock, and Jillian Hills for winning the Pure Stock Championship. Uh, I think that championship was even just a few points between that him and Spencer.
There's
Couple
two
points.
points between them.
Yeah. Matt Young wins the mini stock championship. Pro late model is Billy Schwarzenberg. The CVMs is Ricky Williger. So congratulations, guys, for picking championships. Um, I was so upset yesterday morning when I got the message from the Sutcliffes that they weren't going to even attend Flamborough.
Hmm.
It hurt me because I was like, man, like one more. I'm like, you know what? We still got to go. We still got a few things to do.
Yeah.
We're gonna go. And then of course I made a post, and I guess a
Mhm.
few minutes prior, Flamborough had called it, and I hadn't seen the post because as I
Right.
made the post, Jacqueline and I were leaving, so I don't get instant updates while I'm driving. I as so it sucks that the whole racing deal got canceled. We
Hmm.
were still planning on going, but
Yeah.
how do you feel about rainouts deciding championships like this? Do you think we can't control Mother Nature unless we build a dome, which
Yeah.
that costs way too much money.
Yeah.
But how do you think tracks should have to reschedule championship night if necessary? Or do you think that just plays out into the entirety of the season as just another factor?
I I kind of go both ways. So like I think that if say when Flamborough made their schedule
Yep.
and they put it out at the beginning of the year, if they had a planned um like a makeup day, a rain date for it, say today,
Yep.
if they had that planned for championship night, then I would understand that. But they don't have that planned. So I do agree with what they did. Like I know some people said like, oh, shuffle things around. Oh, like move this to this day and make championship night's rain date this day. It's like, but it wasn't in the schedule. It wasn't planned. So it's like, I don't agree with that in that aspect because they didn't have that planned. I think that's just the way it falls. Like, I think it was Susie Spellick said it that points aren't just decided on championship night. It's over the whole course of the season.
Yep.
So it's like it's really unfortunate, especially for guys like Spencer and Wade. Like Spencer had a really good fighting chance at the championship, and it really sucks that he didn't get that last chance to fight for it. So it's like I feel for both sides. Like
Yeah.
it sucks, but that's the way it was scheduled, and you know,
Do you think tracks maybe should have a rain date scheduled, or do you think that it's okay the way it is?
it's
It's a flip of the coin, really, right?
yeah. Like part of me wants to say, yeah, I think they should have a rain date for championship night, especially because even if it wasn't like super close in points, that's your last points night. Like that's your last.
Hurrah.
Yeah. So it's like
Yeah.
it does kind of suck if it gets rained out and there's no rain date for it. But it's like it was Brandon Feeney that commented about how like, but then you would have to have rain dates for everything.
Yeah.
But it's like unless you just deem championship night not like an invitational, but like a special home track event, like
Yeah.
and you have a rain date specifically for that one, then I would understand that. So it's like it kind of yeah, it's kind of like a flip of a coin. Like I don't know which
We
side.
definitely can see the both sides of it,
Yeah.
right? Like it does suck, but at the same time, like we can't fault them for not. And
Mm-mm.
we're the only reason we're talking about Flamborough, by the way, isn't to bash them or
God
to
no.
do anything like that. We love Flamborough. I know we both of us were seeing a lot of things on social media yesterday, and I know we wanted to have this conversation. I wanted to have this conversation on here
Mhm.
to kind of continue the conversation to kind of see what everyone else thinks as well. So feel free to leave us your comments, and you can tell me to f off if you want me to. Like that's the point of this. I know a lot of people will just tell me to f off regardless, but you can tell me right in the comment section. I got no issues with it. I just want to hear your thoughts and opinions on it. That's the whole point of it. Um,
Like I agree with what Flame Pro did. I know there's controversy with it, but it's like I appreciate them making that call ahead of time so that we didn't have to load up and then unload or go and sit at the track and wait it out because
yeah,
it wasn't really
I, I
a good
hate when you got to do that.
like
Like look
yeah.
at last
It's
year
like
when we
it
came
sucked.
down,
It
right?
sucked for them. I feel real bad. Yeah. So I think ultimately they made the right decision.
I agree. You know,
Like there's going to be people that complain no matter what. If you would have made us come and sit in the pits and then
yep,
call it after everybody was there, people would have complained about that too. So
yep,
I know it was a hard decision for them and I applaud them for it. Like,
yep. I'm glad they did. And
yeah.
you know what? Now that it gives everyone a reset before a lot of people travel to Flamborough for next weekend's Frosttoberfest. And we're going to talk briefly about that here. Next weekend is Frosttoberfest at Flamborough Speedway. It is the premier end of season event for Flamborough Speedway. Lots of great action. It's a 2 day event. You know, lots of classes running
Mhm.
both days. Uh, I'm gonna try to pull up the poster here so we get all the accuracy here.
I'm literally looking at it right now and
Oh, do
writing people
you
down. Yeah.
let us know because I
For like what divisions and stuff are
yeah,
running.
tell us the divisions.
Okay.
I forget
Okay.
all the divisions that are showing up.
So there's a lot. Like I
I
never
know.
realized how many there actually is. So Saturday is day one. You have qualifying and features. Outlaw Super Late Models will do 50 lap feature. Oscar Mods do a 50 lap feature. Oscar Hot Rods do a 30 lap feature. Legends do a 30 lap feature. Outlaw Midgets do 25 lap feature. Then it says junior late models and mini trucks, but it doesn't say how many laps. I'm gonna
It'll be
assume
about
that
15 to 20.
yeah. So yeah, Saturday pits open at 9. Grandstands at 12. Racing's at 2:30. Day two, the Sunday, same deal. It's qualifying and features for pro late models, super stocks, mini stocks, and pure stocks. Oh, sorry. It's also the Grisdale Triple Crown, technically, for the pro
Yep.
lates. So they will do triple 50. Supers do 50, minis do 40, and pure stocks will do 40. So,
Lots of great action. And we got
yeah.
to give a big shout out to Justin Collison for
Yeah.
really kicking up gear for the Super Stocks to be put back on the schedule for Frosttoberfest.
Mm-hmm.
He's done an incredible job. I think I saw somewhere that they were up to like 20 plus cars for
Mm-hmm.
the event. Some huge heavy hitters. We're gonna see Sean Chenoweth, Lane Zardo, Justin Collison's coming back. Who else? Oh
Carson
my God.
Nagy's coming.
Carson Nagy's coming. Colton Everingham's coming. You know, there's lots of big names in the super stocks that are coming, which is fantastic. I love it to see it
Mm-hmm.
because it really is. I love the super stock division. I think at Flamborough, they really put on one heck of a show
Yeah.
there. There is no, like, there at Flamborough compared to a lot of other tracks, you can't hide, I find,
Mm-mm.
because of how flat it is. If you try to get someone out of the way, you can't hide you have to get gone. You
Yeah.
cannot hide. And even in the
And
pure
you
stocks,
don't,
in the mini stocks.
yeah. And it's not like you have many places to go.
No,
Like you're there. And if there's a lot of cars on that track, you're stuck there for a while.
exactly.
Like it's, it's competitive.
Oh yeah. But I'm excited to, and you know, if you want to support, I've seen the pure stocks, the mini stocks, and the super stocks all raising extra purse funds for the event. If you would like to be a part of that, get a hold of Nicole Givens for the Pure Stocks, in the Ontario Pure Stock, what's the group called? Ontario Pure Stocks and Bone Stock Group on Facebook. Get a hold of Mike Thompson in the Ontario Mini Stocks, Justin Collison in the Super Stocks, and if you, it doesn't matter if it's $50, doesn't matter if it's a gift card, a gas card, doesn't matter. I know these guys are more than appreciative of the support. Get a hold of them, let them know.
Mhm.
What else? What else I put on my topic sheet here before? Because we're gonna have a nice long conversation with Wally Wilson here in a few minutes. We haven't had Wally on in so long.
Mhm.
He reached out a couple weeks ago and said, "Hey, love to come back on." And I'm like, "Dude, we haven't had you on in like 2, 3 years.
Mhm.
Hell yeah, we're gonna bring it on. Lots to talk about." Um, the one thing I know Megan would like to point out, sits over my right shoulder. Megan, would you like to explain what I got behind me here?
John's coming to the dark side.
I'm not going to the dark side.
Yes, you are. He's got
No, I'm
Crocs
not.
now.
So yesterday, I do not wear Crocs. I do not find them stylish. I do not find them comfortable. I do not find them nothing.
Jonathan, nobody finds them stylish, okay?
Doesn't matter. Jacqueline decided it was in my best interest to purchase Crocs, and she bought me Crocs without me knowing. And I'm sure as hell Megan knew about this.
I knew it.
So yesterday, Jacqueline handed me the bag, and she picked me out Ohio State Buckeye Crocs. Now, the reason why I think she bought them for me was thinking I was going to wear them. Because why? Because my favorite college football team is the Ohio State Buckeyes. Um, little does she know that I will never wear those Crocs. I'm not going to wear them as house shoes. I'm not going to wear them
Come
out.
on.
No, you will never see me wear them.
House shoes. Nobody will see you.
No, not happening. Uh, so I know Megan, your mom, Deb, and Jacqueline were still harping on me last night, about wearing them. And I said, I'm like, I'm never gonna wear them. They're decoration. I'm gonna put a place up on my mantle here above the computer, and that's where they're gonna sit. I don't know where. Be able to sit on the tripod over here. I don't know yet. We'll find a spot for them, but they will never be worn.
Come on.
Nope. Uh, so for anyone who's listening who was at Flamborough a couple weeks ago when I was announcing up in the tower with I want to get over. I want to talk about this because you can't find it on video, and I do need to feel like I do need to. I feel like I need to apologize, and I meant to do it last week, but with episode 150, I wanted to keep on with the driver's seat, and because Megan joined us when the guest came on, it would be awkward. So, Megan, I officially apologize for the way I acted on the microphone at Flamborough Speedway. Uh, I misspoke, and I wasn't able to finish my sentence. Um, as I was calling the race, Kevin mentioned that we have my co-host is Megan, and I go, yep, for a few more weeks. And I wanted to say because we're returning the driver's seat, and I'm not making Megan do double duty, for shows. So Megan, I apologize for my words, and I'm
That
sorry.
is okay.
I
I
just
think
thought
it's hilarious.
it was funny. Uh, yeah, oh my God, that was still so much fun. But yeah, it was. I couldn't believe that. Like even to this day, like I'm like, what the hell? I was like, I just wanted to say like the driver's seat was about to return, and then something came up, and well, we were under caution, so like it wasn't a
Yeah.
big deal. But yeah, Megan is not leaving officially from the True North Racing podcast. We're just moving her to her old program of the driver's seat for 2025. You guys are gonna be able to find that in the coming weeks here. Next year is gonna be busy for me.
Mhm.
Editing, hosting one podcast, and editing and producing three of them. What did I get myself into?
I kind of wondered that too.
You know what? I love what I do. I love getting to do this stuff. Like Jacqueline and I recorded her first episode today of her show.
Yeah.
We got it all done. It's scheduled. It's ready to go. So Tuesday, I'm gonna do a little promo side here for her. If you guys or anyone is into the paranormal stuff, Joe Media Promotions, Joe Media, anyways, will be producing a all new paranormal podcast. It is hosted by my wife Jacqueline Morrison. We are going to be talking all things paranormal about different sites, the history behind them. We got a great episode coming up for episode 2 already, featuring a lot of the Niagara on the Lake area where they have the Butler's Barracks, Fort George, and Fort Mississauga. There's lots to talk about there, so she will be bringing you that next week. But episode 1 will be dropping this Wednesday, tomorrow, when you guys hear this. So Wednesday at 2 p.m. You guys can go find her on Instagram and TikTok. It's Whispers FT from the other FTOS pod on Instagram and TikTok. So go check them out. Megan, I think you might be listening to that to see
Oh,
what comes out of there.
yes.
This is something Jacqueline's wanted to work on for a while, and I'm thankful that this offseason I'm really putting some effort into the behind the scenes stuff. So we'll be having fun with that. I'm excited. We got Wally Wilson coming on here in a couple minutes, but before we do that, let's find out what vehicle Hailey has for us in this week's Driving with Hailey Vehicle Spotlight. This week's Driving with Hailey Vehicle Spotlight is a 2023 Cadillac XT4 all-wheel drive sport with only 52,819 kilometers. This beauty is nice. It is a white exterior vehicle. It only has one previous owner, is accident-free, power passenger seats, park assist, heated steering wheels, blind spot sensors, power drive seat, keyless ignition, lane departure warning, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You guys, you know you need that when you want to listen to the True North Racing Podcast. You need to do it hands-free while driving. Are you ready to add a dash of sporty spice to your daily drive? This vehicle is exactly what you need. It will have you feeling like a VIP each time you get into it with a power liftgate. It's going to be holding all your gear with an ease of a pro hockey player. This is a vehicle you guys are going to want in your driveway. If you guys are looking to get into a new DU vehicle, give Hailey Hill a call today at 289-808-2828 or email her at hhill@rightride.ca. You guys can also find her on Facebook and Instagram at Driving with Hailey. Make sure you guys mention to her when you guys call to ask for this vehicle, let her know that I sent you. Okay, let her know that you were listening to the True North Racing Podcast and you heard about this Cadillac that she has on the lot. Go give her a shout today. Get that car in your driveway. This is a vehicle you are gonna want to take all your cares away. So like I said, give her a shout today at 289-808-2828 or email her at hhill@rightride.ca. Yes, like I said, Facebook and Instagram at Driving with Hailey. Now let's get into this week's episode of the True North Racing Podcast presented by Driving with Hailey with Wally Wilson. Joining us this week in our GraphInk design studio, we got Wally Wilson joining us. Wally, how's it going, man?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Pretty good. It's been a minute since we've had you, and I'm sorry. I really am sorry that we haven't had you back in a while, but we got some we got some great things to talk about, obviously, because it's now we get to play catch up.
Yep, exactly.
How has your 2024 season been so far?
It's been pretty good. It's kind of up and down. I mean, we started off, we went through a motor, like
that's never a good start.
5 laps of practice, so that was fun. And then and then it's kind of picked up, and then won a couple of races, and here we are.
Now let's talk about those. Let's talk about those couple races. Let's be real. You have been showing a ton of speed this year. You've made huge improvements on your program. You picked up Kelly Balson's modified, correct?
Yep.
And now is that the one that you've won both your races in so far?
Yeah, that's the one I've won them both in.
You have been running near the top each week in and week out. You're like there. You got your first win in the Oscar mods at Peterborough, correct?
Yep.
How did that race go for you?
Started pretty good. We started on the front row and just drove away. Like, just hit all my marks and I was just gone. And then we got to, there's a couple of cautions and then like bunch the field back up, but they had nothing for me that day, so it worked out pretty good.
Hey, you can't go wrong with that. Winning your first race though in the Oscar modifieds, how did that feel for you when you cross that finish line, checker flags waving, and they're like 69 to victory lane? How did that feel for you?
Honestly, I didn't really even like I knew I won, but like it never really like sank in. It was just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, like we just pull into victory lane. I'm sitting in there and sitting in the car and I'm waiting for like someone to be like, okay, you can get out, but like no one did. So I'm just kind of sitting there and I'm just sitting there like probably for a good 5 minutes. And then finally they're like, you can get out, you know? Oh yeah,
It's all like NASCAR where they got someone waiting at the door there for you to tell you to get out for photos, eh?
exactly.
Since then though, has the win really sunk in for you to say like, yeah, I got that win?
Yeah, it's been pretty neat. I mean, like ever since that win, like anytime I go to a racetrack, there's always at least one person that hasn't said congrats yet because they haven't seen me, and they're still coming up to me. Like I think it's been almost 2 months now, and I'm still getting people saying congrats. And then after that, a couple weeks later, we backed it up and won at Sunset. So then it just made it like all those text messages just stopped, and then they started again.
I know that ran through the pits at Flamborough like pretty quick that night. Like we're all freaking out. Like, did you see this? Look at this! Oh my god! Like we were excited. Oh my god!
It was good.
But what was that like? You're like picking up your second win shortly after at Sunset.
It was pretty good. It was on Memorial. Well, it wasn't a Memorial night, but it was the same weekend as the Alan Lincoln Memorial Race.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he was a good buddy of mine. So, like, it was pretty special in that one.
Definitely.
That's awesome. Uh, Obviously winning at Sunset, you've been competing there in their modified division this year. What has that been like for you running like running? Obviously, you've been running both. But when you go back to Sunset and run the modifieds there, what's the vibe there like in that division?
Honestly, everyone just kind of gets along. Like, there's no real issues. Like, everyone just kind of there having fun. Like, we all just love racing, right? Like, and it's somewhere we can go and race and have more events than just the tour.
Yeah. And you know what? Because how many races do you guys usually get on the tour? About 14,
Uh,
15?
14, 15, yeah, around there. Want to say this year we had like 12, but I could be wrong.
Okay. I haven't kept up with the modifies this year. I feel so bad for that.
You've been
Uh,
busy.
Dude, it's been a crazy year, and I get to slow down a little bit.
Yep.
Uh, with that being said, though, we are winding down into the final few weeks of the season. This coming weekend, you'll be at Flamborough Speedway for Frosttoberfest, and the following weekend, you'll be at Autumn Colors for the final race of the season for Oscar. How is the What are you looking forward to over the next 2 weekends for you?
Uh, Flamborough, I've always been like hit or miss there. I never seem to be able to finish it off. I've either run really good or ran not so good and just had bad luck, like something breaks or something. It's just been not one of my better tracks, but I enjoy going, so I'm excited for that. But then obviously I'm excited to go back to Peterborough finally. Try and
Ho-
try and win another one there.
Hopefully, double up on it.
Yep.
Um, and with that being such a nice long weekend event, uh, there's lots of opportunities to really just go out, have fun, on and off the track, obviously. But when you go out to Peterborough, are you camping there that weekend, or are you going to be traveling
Uh,
to and from?
we'll probably be in a hotel, is my
Yeah,
guess, because that's usually what we do for autumn colors. We stay in a hotel, but we're at the track every day regardless.
yeah. Because was it Thursday or Friday's load in, and then for Friday's
Uh,
practice, and
I think Wednesday is like the first day for load in, and then Thursday I think is also load in, but also some of the other divisions do tech,
yeah,
and then Friday is like heat races for us, and yeah.
it's it's a busy weekend. I can never understand the schedule half the time.
Never really makes much like it makes sense, but it doesn't because you're like, why do I have to be here for so many days? But then at the same time, you what else are you gonna do for the weekend? Like you're still gonna end up going. You're gonna love it. Like
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not like that. It's the final race of the season for asphalt here in Canada.
yep.
you get guys from Delaware, Sauble, uh, Sunset, Flamborough. You guys get people from everywhere to come out to go run that one because of course the one thing everyone wants in their trophy case is that leaf.
Yeah, definitely.
You want to showcase that leaf, and I'm sure that trophy was nice, the last one you got at Peterborough,
It
but
was pretty nice.
when you go back, you want to get that leaf.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to go out, definitely want to go out, end the season off like with a bang. You want to go win. And obviously you get to come back and say you're an Autumn Colors Classic winner, which like there's there's a lot of them out there, but like at the same time, like that's one of the special ones to win because not very many people have that opportunity to go win it.
It's still such a it's even though like you said, a lot of people want it, but it's still an exclusive club because there's tons of people who have tried
Mhm.
to win and they never won.
Yep.
Right? There's still that, we get new winners each year and stuff like that, and just adds to the club. But yeah, you still want to get that thing.
Yep.
So, like John said earlier, I guess it's been a while since you've been on here. So, do you want to give like I guess like a little run through of like life and racing and what you've been up to since then?
Since then, honestly, just life's been busy. I'm constantly on the go, like all over the place, going all the way to Owen Sound from London, going back to London, going to Quebec, going like all over the place. It's been busy with work. And then obviously with racing, been busy with that and constantly working on my car, making it better and better. And it's, it's never ending.
Oh,
N-
yes.
Now, have you been working with a NASCAR Canada Series team, or are you just going to these events?
I was working with Benoit Couture for the road course races. And then
Okay.
the finale race, I was with WMI. So I was with Lassard and Dexter Stacy.
Okay. I was curious about that because I'm like, I've started seeing more footage from you on Snapchat there from going in these NASCAR Canada races. I'm like, man, what is it like? So it's cool that you've been able to join in with those guys. What has it been like being able to work with those guys though on those cars?
Honestly, like it's crazy the amount of knowledge and everything that you surround yourself with when you go to those races and like everybody's there to win, everyone's there to like they they're just everyone knows exactly what they need to do and it's honestly it's kind of breathtaking because you go there and you're just like you're used to like the short track stuff where like people still know but like everyone's kind of there for a good time and then once you get to like the NASCAR stuff it's kind of like more serious and everyone's like on the go and like it's also kind of nonstop.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy when yeah, like obviously once you as you move up, it the focus really changes and what you got to dial in on is different. But no, it's cool that you've been able to go out and work with those guys because like the knowledge that they have is half of them are second to none.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm sure some of that knowledge has that even yeah, kind of gone back into your own program to focus.
A little bit, yeah. Like now, I'm kind of more like when we go to the racetrack, I'm a lot more like serious, and I want to adjust on the car and make the car better. Like that's my focus. Like I'm not like I used to go and I used to be there, just kind of like hang out, go see people, like not like go watch the races, not really do a whole lot. Now it's like we're constantly doing something on the car.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? As a lot of people usually say, if you're not working on your car, you're falling behind,
Yep, yep.
right?
It's never ending. You gotta keep going.
It's little adjustments, man. That like that, and half the time that's all it is. Once you get dialed in, it's little adjustments here and there,
Yep,
from what I've
exactly.
learned, anyways.
Like at Peterborough when I won, I got out of the car and I was like, I was tight. Like the car should have been better. Like I could have been faster. And they're like, you had a huge lead, and I'm like, yeah, but like I could have been better.
Exactly.
If you like that's the thing. If you never want to be better, like you don't move up,
Yeah, exactly.
right? If you're content to running, fifth to tenth kind of deal, be content. But
Yep.
I've our conversations in the past, you've always been to me, you've always seemed like that kind of guy who's really dug in and you have always wanted to improve your program and get better. Um, and it really seems like you have improved your program, which again, phenomenal. I congratulate you because it's great to see another competitive car, like more competitive.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you sucked or anything like that. But I'm just I realized as soon as I said that, I'm like, man, I'm really screwing up my words here. Uh, but me be more competitive, like be more upfront on a consistent basis because if you want to win that championship, you got to be consistent.
Yeah, exactly. You if you have one bad night, it can screw your whole season. And I've noticed like this year, I really noticed that heat race really matter for points. I always was just kind of like, oh, it's just a heat race, it doesn't matter. But then this season, I've really noticed like, hey, you have to finish at the front of these heat races if you want to contend for a championship. If you don't, you're going to be behind.
Absolutely. Now because I don't follow the Oscar tour that much, but obviously with heat races, do you guys earn points for that heat race or
Yeah, so I think each heat race is 10 points to win, if I'm not mistaken.
okay,
And then obviously it like goes 10 down to whatever it is.
whatever it is, yeah.
And then I can't remember how it kind of works out because we do two sets of heat races and that's how
Yeah.
they like set the field. But you can gain 20 points if the guy
Oh
ahead of
geez.
you has a bad night and you have a good night in the heats and then you're ahead that much and then you go into the feature and hopefully you're ahead even more. But
Hmm. I didn't know that.
yeah,
That's kind of cool though. Because it does break like it makes more sense, I guess, then to want to race.
yeah, it makes you want to actually race for the heat races and it's not just like you're just kind of out there. It's nice to know that if you have to kind of work at it, you can't just go and kind of sit at the back and that's how you're going to get points. Like you have to be up there and work for it really.
Whereabouts are you sitting in points this year with
Uh,
Oscar?
with Oscar, I think I'm fourth.
Okay, that's pretty respectable.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And then with Sunset, I was second going into the last night. I think I ended up third,
Come
but
on, man. How could you
it's
let
not too
that
bad.
happen? How could you fall back one spot?
I don't know. It just kind of happened.
That's I guess it's like the worst feeling. I guess that could be one of the worst feelings in the world is really losing a spot on championship night.
It wasn't like too bad. We didn't. I don't really even remember what exactly kept us from it, but we just didn't. We weren't up at the front. Like we were still up at the front, but we weren't like the top two. Like I wasn't up there with TJ kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it wasn't a great night, but it wasn't a bad night, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. It's definitely hard with stuff like that. To really get an idea like it sucks, but if you're kind of falling off your if you're not falling off your game, but if you don't have the car that night, it is what it is, right?
Yep, exactly.
With moving forward here, like I said earlier, we got a couple weekends of the season left. And I hate to say we're looking forward to the off season because I'm certainly not. But to be fair, realistically, let's be real. Is there even an off season racing?
I mean, last season I think I took maybe like a month or two where a month where I didn't really do much on the car. Like I just kind of was kind of relaxing, letting it all kind of come together. And then once that was over, like it was just nonstop. Like you take a few weeks or a few days here and there to kind of still go do your own thing, but like Monday or probably Tuesday after autumn colors, we'll probably have the car unloaded and be working on it. So
You know what? Ain't nothing wrong with that.
exactly.
Uh, because I would like the thing is like I've been saying for the past few weeks here, races aren't won on the track.
No.
You win them in the shop. And if you're not working on your car, if you just do maintenance on your car even throughout the wintertime, you're falling back 2 3 spots.
Yep.
Let's be real. You have to consistently work on that car especially in the off season. I always say in the off season, you tear your car down to absolutely nothing. Go through every nut and bolt.
Yep.
If it's bad, change it. If it's good, put it back. Make sure that when that car is set on that track in at the end of April, beginning of May, that car is 100%. Because you do
I
not
agree with
want to
that.
go out there and a bolt that broke apart or something go like a throttle hung up.
Yep.
Obviously, there's stuff you can't predict is going to happen no matter what maintenance you do.
Yep.
But whatever stuff you can prevent, make sure you prevent it
Exactly.
because these things are expensive to repair.
Yeah, and they keep going up in price.
You got that right. There's a reason why I'm not running full time, nor running at all. I'd love to, just can't. I can't afford it, man. Even a pure stock, I can't afford to run a season or even a part like an outlaw schedule or something. It's hard to put in that commitment you need to really get to put a car together.
Yeah, I find especially right now, like everybody's kind of hurting on it. Like no one's, if you notice, it seemed like this year, a lot of guys weren't out wrecking cars. Everyone was a lot more like respectful. Like obviously there's still wrecks and stuff because it's racing, but like
Yeah.
it seemed like everyone was a little bit more respectful and kind of mindful of the fact that these things cost a lot of money.
Oh yeah. Everyone was a lot of people were more methodical with their moves this year
Yeah.
than in years past. And I'm not saying people would just drive through others, but I mean that's kind of what we're saying. But
Yep.
I didn't want to say it like that. I'm sorry. But no, what are you looking forward to this off season? Do you have any off season plans?
uh, right now, the only real off-season plan is we're gonna take a couple of our cars and just go through them and update them and get them to that point of being at the front, hopefully, and then possibly work on getting more cars out by like getting someone to run them or something. We haven't really decided. We haven't made a full like we haven't sat down and had the conversation about it yet. We just kind of been throwing ideas around, trying to just figure something out, I guess. And yeah, that's really it. Nothing too crazy. Trying to figure out obviously everything for next year. Like, but I mean, we don't really find out the schedule until I think March, usually February, March. So it's kind of sit around and wait for a few months.
Okay, so that's one gripe I have, and Megan knows this. How do you feel about how late usual schedules come out?
Honestly, I get it because they're trying to piece it all together, but it's at the same time it's frustrating when you're the driver and you don't know. Like you're trying to go and get sponsors and trying to get people to come and help or trying to plan out your summer really, and you can't really plan it out until like March. Usually around Motorama is when everybody has their schedules out, but like it's
Yeah.
just it's nice to know that at least they're not waiting till April, but I mean it'd still be nice to have an idea and not have to stress about it and just kind of know. Like typically they keep the schedules the same from year to year, but
You still want to know
yeah,
kind of where you got to go.
yep, exactly.
The schedule can stay the same, but let's be real, we never know what kind of wrench they want to throw into
Yep.
a schedule in the year. Like I know for me, especially with the packages that we have with Joe and Media Promotions, I got to make sure where I need to be.
Yeah,
I don't want to put people into places and, come March, it's like everything is out the window.
yeah,
I want to have
exactly.
my own, like, even I may not be racing, but I want my own schedule to be set
Yeah,
by February at the latest. I don't want any funky business. I always say, like, I've been saying a lot lately is that the schedule should be out no later than December, like middle of December.
that'd be nice.
That should be our Christmas presents
Yes,
from the
yes.
tracks and the touring divisions.
I
Let
agree.
us have our schedule so we can book them, book our holidays.
The worst is when like you see all the tracks coming out with their schedules and there's like one track that hasn't put it out yet as a touring
Oh my
series.
God.
The touring series hasn't announced it yet. So you're sitting there and you're like looking at all these schedules, piecing it all together, trying to figure it out. But then like all of a sudden you get the tour schedule and then all of a sudden you have like 2 extra weekends because that one track didn't, and it's just I wish they would just all announce it at the same time.
Yeah. Just I would like to start a petition December 15th. Give us the damn schedules.
I like it. I'll sign it.
I just think like we said, like it's you want to know what your plans are for the next summer.
Yeah.
So that way, if you so choose to go do, let's say, like a Boots and Hearts or a concert, and the tickets come out, let's say January, let's say January 1st, the tickets go on sale for one of the biggest concerts happening in Toronto on a Saturday night.
Yep.
And you're like, yes, I bought tickets. 2 weeks later, you find out you can't go. Like you feel like crap at that point.
Yeah. It's frustrating sometimes when you have to deal with that. But I mean, they just shouldn't have concerts or events on Saturdays.
Exactly.
No, bring them to the track.
They should. That'd actually be neat.
Track. I would love to see more live entertainment at tracks for after races.
I know down in the States, a lot of the tracks do that.
Yeah. Flamborough did it for their Memorial Night.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah.
I just get the people over to the pits and get them to see the cars. If you got to entice them with some live music, entice them with live music.
Yep, exactly.
Just something for the love of God. Just I some of these tracks that it's such an easy access to go to the pits.
Yep.
Sunset's one, Peterborough's another.
Sauble's
easy.
Yeah, because Sauble's right at the entrance.
Full Throttle's easy.
Yep.
Just Flamborough and Delaware are the two hardest.
Yeah, because
for asphalt tracks.
Yeah, because both you have Flamborough's the hardest because you got to cross all the way across.
Yeah, you have to leave the track essentially and go around.
Yeah, and then
Delaware,
you just kind of you go down from the grandstands, but at the end of the night, not a lot of people are going to want to go down
and then have to climb up those stairs.
Yeah.
As much as I love the Delaware, I love Delaware. The view from Delaware is beautiful.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Megan and I were hanging out last night, and I was saying to her dad, I'm like, you need to go watch a race there. Like, just don't go for the 300 because if you go all day, you're gonna be baking in that sun.
Yep, that was a long race to watch.
The one and only time I ever sat for the 300 was the 2008. Ron Sheridan wins. David Elliott finishes second. We got there at 8-9 o'clock in the morning, I think it was, because that's when gates open.
Yep.
And we didn't leave till 8-9 o'clock that night. Actually, we left at 10-11 because David finished second and there was a full tear down in tech.
Of course.
We didn't leave the track till 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock or so. So you could, and of course, the sun rises in turn 3 and sets in turn 2.
Yep.
So if you're in that grandstand, you just bake all day long.
All day.
Oh my goodness. Down in the pits, you guys got it easy. You guys can just hide in the trailers or your trucks or something.
Yep, that's true.
You guys have it a little bit easier down there, but even on a hot day though, you can't escape that heat.
No, doesn't matter where you go. It hits you.
Oh yeah. Frick, I had something right there, man. I'm sorry. Megan can attest to this. I got freaking squirrel brain every now and then. But no, honestly, I keep saying to people, one of the coolest places to go is Delaware to go watch racing.
I agree. I'm there pretty well every week.
Because you're out there helping who are you out there helping?
It's kind of all over the place. I mean, I help the Morneaus the odd time. I help Nagy's. I help Paul Major, Justin Collison the odd time. I'm kind of just everywhere.
You just jump wherever
bone stock guys, the Howards for sure, and then
yep,
it's kind of all over there.
Which you actually got a chance to get in behind the wheel of one of the bone stocks this year from the Howards, correct?
Yes. Mike needed someone to run for his perfect attendance or something like that, and he offered me, and I couldn't turn down. I mean, I'm there anyway. I might as well drive a race car.
Exactly. Why not? How was it running a bone stock at Delaware? compared to your
Honestly,
modified?
honestly, so the one weekend I did it, and it was the same weekend that we raced the modified there, and I was going in racing the bone stock, and bone stocks are a blast, especially there. Like there's 50 of them pretty well every week. Like
On average, yeah.
insane, and all of them honestly, like there's a lot of talent in that field that like people don't seem to realize because they're just like, oh, it's a bone stock, right? But like there's a lot of talent in all over Ontario in bone stocks, but like I find especially at Delaware, like it's huge. And they're honestly they're so much fun to drive.
Oh yeah.
And like I I obviously like I still it took me a while to figure it out. I wasn't really the best driver out there, but like I was still out there. I made the feature. Like I was having fun. And then you go the one weekend, I had the bone stock on the Friday, and then on the Saturday I raced the mod, and it's so different. The mod's so much faster.
Yeah, it's crazy when you kind of go from one car to another, and the speed difference is noticeable.
Oh yeah, and it messes me up too because obviously the bone stock's front wheel drive,
Yeah.
and everything I've raced has always been rear wheel drive, and then I hop in that, and like one little mistake, and you're around. Like it's just it's so different.
Oh yeah. What was it like even being able to drive that front wheel car? Like obviously the
Like
power difference, but the handling difference.
honestly, like I'd come off the track and they'd ask me how the car was, and I'd be like, I don't know, it was tight. Like it just felt tight. Everything's tight. It doesn't turn. It just I don't know. I get on the gas and I'm not sideways. I don't get it.
Because he said you're so used to rear wheel drive that you're just waiting for that ass end to kick out to help that drive off.
Yep.
Whereas the front wheel drive, you don't get that. Your
You
power doesn't
just
transfer.
like I'm used to like in the rear wheel drive, you just kind of like feather it in the out of the corner, and then when you're in the front wheel drive, you just floor it and turn.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like it's fun, but it's different.
Oh, for sure it would be. Uh, where can we see Wally Wilson in the future? Like where do you plan on taking your racing career? Where do you find where would you like to get behind the wheel of?
Honestly, I really want to get behind the wheel of a tour mod. I want to go down and run some of the big races down there, but that's it's not easy to do by any means. But like I mean, I gotta try and make it happen. I guess like whether we have our own car and we go across the border, or if I just get a car like have a car down there to run or whatever. But I don't know. We'll see where it takes me. I'll just kind of keep running mods up here and keep trying to, I guess, impress people that have tour mods.
Is there a track that you haven't run yet that you would like to try?
Um, in Ontario, I've run pretty well every track, other than no, I guess I have run every track in Ontario. Like, there's some dirt tracks I want to try, but I've never done dirt, so I'd probably say Weekend for Ontario, I guess. And then for asphalt, I wanna say probably Stafford would be where I want to go.
That looks like a fun place.
Oh yeah.
That's like a how big is it? It's like a 5/8, I think it is.
Oh,
Half mile maybe.
I think it's a half. It might be. I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure it might be half.
I'm feeling pretty stupid right now. Like crap, is it 5/8? The only time I ever drove Stafford it was that SRX game that came out.
I've only driven it on iRacing, so I'm not much different.
with with to help like to help learn how a car drives.
It's honestly, I found like I haven't really been on at all this year. I found like obviously before like you start to learn stuff, you can learn adjustments and like that kind of stuff. But then I found this year with me not really be on it, it made I feel like it made me a little bit better because I wasn't like going out there and kind of transferring, oh, this should feel like this on the car, but then obviously when it's a real car, it's completely different. So
Yeah, it's now because I don't have iRacing, so I gotta I would love to get it, just don't have the time for it.
yep.
But how would you like to see our Canadian short tracks get into the game?
I would. I'm surprised that none of them have, but I think it costs a decent amount of money to get them to come out and scan the track and everything. Like, I know, I want to say that Jukasa or like Delaware would probably be our best bets to get on there, but it'd be cool to see like Sauble, Sunset, Peterborough, Varney, like all those tracks. It'd be cool to see Flamborough. It'd be it'd be neat.
It'd be better for us to be able to have like a nice little winter series using our own home tracks.
Yeah, because we keep having like I remember when APC did it, and there's all like the home track guys, but then obviously like we don't really have a home track because it's just iRacing. Like it's all the states tracks. Like we don't have anything. The only Canadian track I think is Mossport.
Yep. And it's not even the oval, it's the damn road course.
Yeah, and they haven't even updated in a while. It's still got grass in every corner.
They need to come up, do it like a 3-week tour of Ontario, scan as many tracks as possible. I don't care if it takes 2-3 years to get all of them in.
Yeah,
Let's just get them in.
just get them in.
I would love to. I'd love to see all, so we can have our own winter series, and we're not using like a Nashville, or a Bowman Gray or all these short tracks in America. Like we love
Yeah,
them, but we want to see some of our own stuff.
yeah, exactly. And it's like I want to say it's just because like we're up in Canada, so it's hard logistically for them to come up, but it'd be awesome. They
It
should,
would be.
they need to make it happen.
I think so. This is our official invitation to iRacing. Let's go. Let's get this stuff. Get in the gear. If you do that, if you scan Ontario tracks, I will get iRacing. I will promise you. I will figure it out. I don't care if I have pennies. If I got to scratch two pennies, two nickels together. I will somehow get iRacing. So by the way, Stafford is a half mile.
There we go.
So I looked it up. We're confirmed. It is a half mile. I don't know why I thought it was at 5/8. Uh, no, honestly, it's been pretty cool. We're gonna get into our dra- tailored to you meeting design fan question period. I'm just a moron and I haven't sent the questions over to Megan yet.
I was gonna say I haven't even seen them yet.
I know I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. I'm not the brightest bulb in the bunch, okay? I barely made it through. This is my second podcast I've worked on today. Thank you very much. Uh, it's been a long day, okay? I helped record one, I edited it, produced it, and got it sent out an hour before I did this show.
Perfect.
So now it's time for our tailored to you media design fan question period. As you saw earlier today, you were going to join us. We got a couple of fan questions for you. Are you ready to answer them?
I sure am.
All right, Megan, take it away.
Alrighty. The first one is from Donovan Price, and he said, "Why is Donovan his favorite super stock driver?"
Because Donovan's honestly he's just a good guy. He's just fun to be around. He's he's just something else. He's a good time.
You're just worried he's going to kick your ass, aren't you?
Yeah, he does that kickboxing stuff. I don't want to mess with him. And I think he's like a foot taller than me, so I don't think I stand a chance.
And then Brandon Feeney said, "Did he steal another one of Balson's cars?"
Oh, me and Kelly have been keeping that joke going since last year when we got the car. And keeps posting Amanda's car, and he said something about it was for sale, and the door was open, and I'm like, I'm coming to get it.
It's been fun watching that joke between you guys all since you got that car from him.
I'm just surprised that it's still going. Like I thought it would have died off, but nope, he keeps it going.
You know what? Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's a nice little inside joke between the two of you guys, right?
Exactly.
All right. Well, that is our tailored to you media design fan question period. Of course, make sure you guys tune in only a few more Sundays to go with this show, but tune in for the last few weeks here. Sundays at noon, we'll be posting who will be joining us. Actually, I think this week we got to record midweek because with Frosttoberfest, I do not want to ask anyone who may be running that weekend. So stay tuned and find out who will be our next week's guest. I don't even know right now, but I'm not joking. But thank you, Wally, for answering those questions for us.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
Uh, it's great to be able to catch up with you because you have been. I think you were on what I say, like episode 3,
Yeah, I was
the
like,
first
it
time
was
you were ever on.
it
You
was
were
one of the
like,
first ones.
look how far we have come in your racing career and in the podcast. It's been incredible how far both of us have come in like 4 years,
Absolutely. I
and
can't believe
it's
it's been that long.
dude, I can't believe that either. Like it's been almost 4 years. Like I'm going back here. You were, yeah, episode 3 to start with, and that was November 18th, 2020, when
Holy,
that one was recorded.
that's crazy.
Or that when that one was released. That's the first one. I think you were like episode 40 something after that.
Yeah, something like that.
So like that was like a year later. Let's see. Take 2, September 14th, 2021. Dude, you're
Here
just
we are
a
3 years later.
it's 3 years later for almost pretty darn 2 weeks, so a little over 2 weeks later on that one. Uh no, it's been absolutely a pleasure having you back on. You have been one of you reached out as soon as I announced that we were going to do the show 4 years ago and be like, yeah, I'd love to come on as a guest. And it's been an absolute, it's kind of funny that we're kind of doing a full circle kind of moment 150 episodes later where, 151, your first time was 3. So we're just a little shy there, but uh, you know, it's so cool the support that you gave us from the get-go of the show to talk racing, to have these conversations and to want to share your stories because that's what we want to do is we really want to share you guys. And as we say in the intro, we want you guys to lift your helmets to show us who you are. Um, because the people in the stands, they see you with your helmets on, you're battling your gladiators, but we also want to see that not necessarily the softer side of you, but like at least the side of you that your friends, your family get to see because that's what really makes a race car driver,
Yeah,
in my opinion. Like
I agree with that.
you could tell me to F off and say that I'm an absolute asshole for it, but that's my opinion on it. Uh, but no, it's like I said, it's been an absolute pleasure having you. We're not gonna wait 3 years to have you back again.
We better not wait 3 years. That's a long time.
Dude, I mean, okay, so how about this? How about this? You win a championship next year. We will have a full 2-hour episode just for you.
That sounds like a deal to me.
All right. Bet right now to end of season next year. You win it either the Sunset Modifieds or the Oscar Modifieds.
I'd say
I
it's
will because I know you'll be running both. So flip a coin. Whatever went you win first, you get a 2-hour episode, and I will guarantee you that next year.
perfect.
Before we let you go, where can they find you on social media to keep up with your racing career? And if someone's listening and wants to sponsor you, how can they get a hold of you?
So you can reach out to me at Wally Wilson Racing on Facebook, Wally Wilson 69, I think, on Instagram and Twitter or X, whatever it's called now. And then yeah, you can just either reach out to me on one of the pages or find me on Facebook and reach out to me there.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this week on our GraphInk Design Studio guest segment of the True North Racing Podcast presented by Driving with Hailey. That has been Wally Wilson. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
And we're back from our Graphic Design Studio guest segment with Wally Wilson. We got to thank Wally for joining us this week. It was an absolute pleasure having him. We're not going to wait 3 years to have him back. That's way too long. I think I did the same thing with Colton Everingham earlier this year. It had been a while since he's been on, but yeah, we had so much fun chatting with him and catching up because that's the big thing. That's what if you guys want to go find out how he got involved in racing and what if he caught us up a lot here, but if you want to go check out how he got started, and as well as a little bit over a year later, not even a year later, actually, less than a year. Um, Go check out episode 3 and 40. Crap, which one was it? 42. Episode 3 and episode 42 of the True North Racing Podcast, and you guys will be able to see everything right then and there about how he got involved. it was fun. It was, we always have fun on these conversations.
Yeah.
But you know, we're gearing up. We're not. There's no slowing down with us here at Joe Medias and Promotions. We
Mhm.
are busy. I'm already working on stuff behind the scenes to get stuff ready for us for 2025. And Megan, you only got a few more weeks of the show before you go back to the driver's seat for next year.
I do.
How do you feel about that? Are you gonna miss being on the show, or are you excited to go back to? Are you really happy to be back going back to the driver's seat?
I'm I'm excited to go back to the driver's seat. Like I'm gonna miss this for sure. But it's like that's where I started this whole podcast journey with you was when you guys got me onto the driver's seat. So it's like it'll be cool to go back to that. I'm excited.
It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a nice little about hour long, hour and a half, end of season, kind of recap, kind of really dive into your seasons. And of course, I'm gonna stump you guys with checkers or wreckers. Still working on the questions, so prepare everything you can.
Yay. I know yesterday I was trying to listen to certain things you were saying and I'm like, I'll bet he's gonna put something in there about that. I better really pay attention. Like
I love it. I love it how you're gonna pay more attention to the key to things that I say to
literally
see if that's gonna be the cause.
like just the random little facts and stuff. I'm like, noted, okay. Okay. Like I was so worried. It was like I was sitting in class in
Oh
high
my
school or
god.
something. I'm like trying to just hang out and I'm like really listening too about different stuff you're saying about Niagara and stuff. And I'm like, that's probably gonna come up later.
Oh, I'm gonna have so much fun with this. No, I like one of the things I'm excited to get back to the driver's seat. That's where I started the real like the producing side of it and just being able to sit back here, kind of jump in every now and then and really not because I don't like to talk, but like it's weird that I have a podcast, but I like to talk, but I don't like to talk.
I feel that.
It's weird, but I'm excited to not direct. I guess it's directing a little bit because we do kind of lead you guys into certain ways. Like I do write kind of a show sheet,
Mhm.
kind of, and we have these conversations where we talk about what's coming up, what you guys want to talk about, how your races went, kind of thing. You guys, we kind of ping pong off each other to really get a good idea of what the show's going to look like.
Mhm.
And I just kind of compile it all into words.
Yeah.
And then, of course, checkers records. You guys have no clue what's going on there.
Nope.
Uh, but it's still fun. Like it's gonna be great even next year. I won't like I do like next year we are gonna bring it back regardless.
Yeah.
It's yeah, you guys don't need to. You guys aren't gonna start till about April,
Mhm.
so like it's not a big deal. But like it's gonna be nice to bring back, and we're probably gonna change the scheduling as well on what podcasts we do.
Right.
So maybe on Sundays instead of doing the True North Race podcast, we do driver's seat, right? Then that way the
Mhm.
driver's seat get out of the way Monday morning. I'm gonna work this off season and really kind of sit down and schedule stuff and see what works best
Yeah.
because it's good when we're able to get stuff out.
Mhm.
Um, we got a lot of things on the go, which is great. We'll have the True North Racing podcast back next year. We're gonna have a day at the races next year. Um, Feeney and I are really gonna sit down this offseason. I know if we better sit down this offseason because you know what, maybe in November, I think him and I'm gonna talk to him and we're gonna go out and do one of our pilot episodes I've been wanting to work on for a while.
Mhm.
And who knows, maybe I will do a cooking with Jomo
You
this
should.
off season.
Even
I think I should.
just like a few random, you know,
Should I wear like the race helmet and do it?
I'd do it.
I need a racing apron. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I would love to do it. I think it'd be funny. I think it'd be a cool concept to try. Maybe one of the things I'll do is closer to Christmas to do one of my chocolate macaroons. That's one of my favorite things I love
Yeah.
to make. I don't really need to look the recipe. There's a lot of history for me on that, which I could talk about throughout the show.
Mhm.
And it only takes about 20 minutes to cook, or not even cook because there's no bake.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. We'll see. I will look for a cooking with Jomo video come in probably beginning of December. We will have a cook. I will have one. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
You've been wanting one, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know, it'd be better if we actually had like you and Feeny come over, and then like we have these conversations while I'm baking the cookies.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would just go off the rails.
Something would get like set on fire.
We're gonna get canceled. No, no, no one, no. I'm gonna be cooking, so no one's gonna get any. Nothing's gonna be set on
Okay.
fire.
Fair.
We're just gonna get canceled. Uh,
Yeah. All these podcasts you've been working on,
the
you're done.
done. No, the whispers from the other side will make it because
Yeah.
of that.
We can't include that.
uh, yeah, I'm looking forward to the off season a little bit to really sit down, work on our program behind the scenes, and get it to where I'm really comfortable for next year. Um, we actually already have a couple drivers signed for next year. Just we're working on a couple things. There's a couple things I got to send out to them to reconfirm that they are on board for next year. But um, if you're interested in being a Joe Media driver for 2025, make sure you guys message us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or at jomopromos@gmail.com. Uh, find out what we can offer. Go check out joemedia.ca. Hit the promotions tab in the top, and you guys can go check out what all we offer in terms of uh, services and video opportunities, photo opportunities. Next year, I kind of talked about it last year, and it sucks that it didn't come to fruition. But one of the
Mhm.
things I'm really going to work on this off season is we are going to do a media day for 2025. I do want to
Mhm.
rent a space, have all you drivers come down. If you're able to, we're gonna do kind of like a nice little video interview, as well as photos. So bring your fire suits, bring your helmets. We're gonna do some backdrop photos, stuff like that, and so we can use for the website. Um, I think it'd be really cool to bring that aspect into it.
Yeah.
Um, who knows? Maybe other things will come of it, but we got to see what's gonna happen. So, but yeah, if you're interested in becoming a Joe Media Driver 2025, lots of cool things on the go. There's gonna be contingency awards for 2025. Um, we got some great. We're working with some great sponsors again next year. We're gonna have a lot of great content being able to be produced from Joe Media and Promotion. So, hey, we're gonna have a lot of fun next year. Um, I'm excited. I'm excited. There's no off season. We're gonna continue working. There ain't no rest for the wicked.
Exactly.
Yeah, there ain't no rest in here.
Nope.
I may go to sleep at like 2 o'clock in the morning and have to get up at 7, but in the off season, I'll be going to bed about 1 o'clock.
Yeah. A little
uh,
extra.
just a little bit extra. Megan, where can they find you guys on social media? You and your team on social media to stay up to date with MRC Racing. Oh, promote your damn t-shirts.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about them. Let's get them.
Okay.
Let's get them on.
So Rachel, through GraphInk Design Studio, thank you, Rachel, has designed us some team shirts. And we are having Cassie Howard make them for us. So we are selling t-shirts for 25, hoodies for 50, and then kid shirts for 15. We're going to be putting that order in probably later this week, hopefully. So, yeah. We have our team merchandise.
They look amazing. I can't wait to get one. I think Jacqueline's gonna also put in an order for one.
Oh.
I'm excited to rep you guys, especially on the podcast. Because I love having racing t-shirts that I can wear on the show.
Yeah,
showcase, because with the video it does help when.
exactly.
Now, of course, I feel bad because Lawrence is all covered here, but sorry guys, I can't have the mic up here. It doesn't look
Yeah.
right and it doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, by the way, where can they find you guys on social media to stay up to date with MRC Racing?
Facebook is MRC Racing. Instagram's mrc.racing.73. And I believe TikTok is the same. I forget now because I have two. I lost the password to the first one.
How could you do that?
So, because it's me. So,
Oh.
okay,
It's
yeah.
me.
Our new one is
I'm
just
the problem.
MRC Racing 73. There's no dots, no spaces, no nothing. There is a second one. It's got old videos on it. It's not active.
All right. Well, thank you guys for everyone for listening to the True North Racing podcast presented by Driving with Hailey this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We had a lot of fun with Wally. We got a lot of cool things, like I said, on the go. Make sure you guys follow along with us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, jomomedia.ca. To stay up to date with everything that's going on with us. We're excited. Though the season's ending, we're ramping up and gearing up for 2025 on the podcast behind Joe Media Promotions. Lots of cool things on the go. Make sure you guys follow us to keep in the know of what we got going on. But that is episode 151 in the books. Man, 151. We're on a countdown now to 200. 49 episodes.
That's crazy. Like, I feel like episode 100 was just like
a year ago. It was a year
not
and a half,
even.
almost a year
I
and a
feel
half
like it was
ago.
like a month ago. Like,
Right?
it didn't feel that long ago.
It's crazy. And that'll be in probably about a year or so, a year or two. So who knows what's going to happen. But thank you to all our sponsors. Driving with Hailey for bringing us this podcast. Jae Pepin with Peps Pro Painting. Rachel Mitchell with GraphInk Design. I mix you guys up sometimes. Don't get upset with me. Rachel Mitchell with GraphInk Design Studio, and Taylor to You Meeting Designs for bringing us our fan question period. Of course, we got to thank all our sponsors for everything they do for us behind the scenes. Thank you guys for being part of the show and for part of our programming. Make sure you guys, like I said, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. But we're gonna get out of here. It's Sunday night. We're gonna go get ready for work for the morning. But for Megan Mitchell, I'm Jon Morrison. We'll see y'all next time. Bye now.
Peace out.
Gas and feel the vibe, going into overdrive. Drop the flag, then the car zooming by. Hey, True North Racing, let's go.